Good morning, everybody. Our first lesson plan is going to be in watercolor. Do these look familiar? Go to any 99-cent store and you will find these. Maybe $1.50. I don't even check the price because I got so many, I go for so many things to a 99-cent store that I have. You find one that stocks a little bit they all have a little in the way of art supplies. Some have more than others. Put in a request, too, if one's nearby you, and let them know that you love when they carry art supplies. And chances are they'll beef it up with the imports or whatever it is or whatever's in the freight yard that needs to get sold. This is like $1.50. So the first lesson plan is on cake watercolors, student grade. And the second lesson plan, if I get to it, is in gouache. This, I don't want to confuse the issue, so I'll just say, this is from an art supply store. These, I've had them for a while, but I tell you for a fact, gouache is, let me just tell you what I know about gouache. Gouache is a watercolor. Textile designers still use them for hand style designs. There's a certain faction of textile designers that never gave up and let computers take over. There's something about doing something by hand and knowing how to do it that help. And even if you do, you could do both, or even if you just want to do computers with textile design, learn. It's great. You learn how to do everything by hand with gouache, and you learn about color mixing. Even though mixing colors with light, okay. So theoretically, we're talking about mixing reflected light waves versus, everything is reflected light that we see on our planet, in this world, in this physicality, because ultimately you have the sunlight that comes down and different molecules reflect that sunlight in a different way that our eyes perceive as color. But I digress. As I usually say, that's a running vocabulary word, because when you multitask, you tend to digress, digress. The last thing I'm going to say about gouache is if you get student grade gouache, it's the worst. There's no comparison. If you get a very nice, it has to do with there being almost nothing. The more pigment and the less fillers that a product has in art supplies, the better it will act. And if you get I've tried it. You get a student grade. You get Winsor Newton. It's great. This particular set is Holbein, and I believe I used them like once. They're great, and I'm going to start using them again. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this morning. These are my brushes. It depends on where you go. If you go to an art supply store that you have a favorite, I have a favorite art supply store that stocks these $15 for all 4 brushes. And my favorite, that's why I held it up first, is this one. And the last thing I'll say is that whatever I do this morning, I'm going to most certainly use this one, which is a filbert. But I want to try to use all 4. And that will justify my leaving these brushes in my Brooklyn location so that I can, because I also work at my lady friends up in the Bronx, where I already have a lot of brushes. And I just don't feel like it would be right somehow, or it would unjust to myself in specific and the spirit of creativity in general if I were to not leave these, because I need some brushes in my Brooklyn location. So bear with me on the next 1 or 2 videos, hopefully 2.